Welcome to today's Ramble. Today we're going to talk about not biting off more than you or your team can chew, right? As MSP business owners and leaders within MSPs, there's always 100 things to work on. There's always tickets, there's always invoices to send, there's always frustrated clients, there's always projects to manage. There's always all of this stuff that goes on and it's largely chaos and interrupt driven, right? It's just the nature of the business that we've chosen. In addition to all that stuff, there's always this extra layer of wanting to do extra projects and initiatives and improve this thing and solve this larger business problem and those kinds of things, right? That's also very common. It's also common in the normal small business world too. It's not just an MSP specific thing, but so today we're going to talk about being mindful about that and setting intentionality with what you want to work on any given day, week, or month. The important part to understand with all of this, especially as you are working with your teams, right? You have your individual contributors and other employees, is that they all have day jobs, as do you. You can't overload everybody all the time and expect people to not burn out. Burnout is super common in many industries and very common in the MSP industry. So I'm hoping that you're able to navigate this without creating lots of burnout within your organization. So let's talk about keeping your team and yourself sane throughout this process. So one of the things I want to make sure that you understand is that you need to be very deliberate about the number of initiatives and projects you work on. It's typical to see, you go talk to a small business and they've got 10 or 15 or 20 or 30 projects or rocks, depending on the systems you use, or OKRs, or these big goals that they're trying to work on. And you can't do all that at once. I mean, if you have the right number of people, maybe, but even still, that's going to be a lot to deal with. So my recommendation for you all today is to take a smaller chunk of these things to manage, right? Pick one or two or three at the most to work on at any given time. Get those one or two or three things all the way to the finish line, and then you can pick up the next thing. The last thing you want to do is work on 5 or 10 or 15 things and have them all like a quarter of the way done or done poorly, right? That's a pretty common thing too, right? You have too many things to do, so you work really fast and the work quality suffers, right? And so the first step here is have fewer things to do, right? Prioritize the things that have to get done. The second piece is define what complete looks like. Define the work quality expectation. Define what the end result should be, right? Make sure that everybody's on the same page. The last thing you want to do is spend time working on a project or an initiative and have a mismatch of expectation at the very end, right? You don't want to have someone spend 30 hours on a thing and have it, have the end result be disappointing, right? If you don't properly define it as a business owner or leader within your organization, and there is an expectation mismatch, kind of on you for not defining the project properly. So the next thing you want to do is really define what a well executed project looks like and what the deliverables are and those kinds of things, right? Make sure that everybody from the get-go is on the same page with what the end result looks like. And that includes things like work quality. That includes things like deadlines. That includes things like how much time it takes you to work on a thing, right? The last thing you want to do is have somebody on your team work on this 30-hour project, and you thought it was going to take 3 or 4 hours. They took 30, and then you had an expectation mismatch. That would be awful. That doesn't feel good for anybody. So it's your job as leaders and as owners of these companies to make sure that you are setting your team up for success with all of these extra initiatives and that kind of thing. Because the last thing we want to do is burn people out on these projects and have everybody all frustrated all the time. And then once you have like what this, completion looks like, and you have that well defined, time to build a project plan around what you need to get done, and then go execute on it, right? That's the idea here. And then you wrap the thing up, and then you can work on the next one, right? The idea here is that you work on fewer things, you do better quality work, and you get them done faster, right? That is the core idea of my message today. So I hope you found some value in this ramble, and thank you for coming on the ramble with me, and I hope to see you in the next one.